Hi, everyone. I am April Blackford, if y'all are just joining me today, and I am a functional diagnostic nutrition practitioner, and my goal is to get to the root cause of your problems. So, today, let's talk about something that's often overlooked but affects so many people I work with, and that is histamine intolerance. So, if you've ever felt like your body's reacting to everything, then this one might be for you. Now, I always like to explain things in a very, very simple way so people can understand. So, the analogy for histamine is always with the histamine bucket. With that being said, let's say your body has a histamine bucket, and every day that bucket fills up just a little bit. And maybe it's from food, stress, your environment, gut issues, or even hormonal shifts. Now, our body can handle certain amounts of histamine. We're supposed to. Now, it plays an important role in immunity, digestion, and even brain function. But when that bucket gets too full and it has nowhere to go, then it starts to spill over. And then that's when symptoms hit. And sometimes they can just kind of hit all at once like a train wreck. Now, what is histamine? It's a natural chemical that your body makes. It's also found in a lot of foods, especially aged, fermented, and leftover foods. Normally, our body produces an enzyme called DAO to help break it down. But when there's too much coming in, too much histamine coming in, or our body can't break it down fast enough, then it builds up and it's like water filling a bucket and the bucket starts to overflow. Now, five signs that your histamine bucket is overflowing. Number one, the obvious one is you are reacting to healthy foods. So, foods like avocados and spinach, bone broth, kombucha, vinegar, sauerkraut, leftovers, even things like collagen or probiotics, which are good for you. So you notice that all those foods are all healthy foods, or deemed healthy foods. So when your bucket is already close to full, eating these can actually be the drop that spills it over. So you may feel itchy, flushed, gassy, or just off. And it's confusing because you're like, wait, I'm eating healthy. Like, why am I feeling bad? I cleaned up my diet and I still feel terrible, is something I hear all the time. And this is often why. Now, the second thing would be skin issues that seem to have no cause. I always say our skin is a direct reflection of our gut, and I believe that full and full, like through and through. The skin is a direct reflection of the gut. So you seem to have skin issues that seem to have no causal correlation. So the skin is one of the first places that we will see histamine overload. So you'll see red, itchy patches, flushing, especially cheeks, neck, chest, hives or rashes after eating or being outside, eczema flare-ups that seem very random, almost like you can't connect why. Like, why is my eczema flaring up all of a sudden? So your skin is like a pressure relief valve. It's your body basically saying, this bucket is full and I need to get rid of some of this. Then the third thing would be headaches. You're experiencing headaches, especially after meals or wine. I hear this a lot. The I can't drink wine, I get a headache. You ever felt foggy or headachy after red wine, chocolate, cheese, leftovers, or even eating out at a restaurant? These are high histamine or histamine releasing foods, and they pour right into the bucket. And for some people, it spills over in the form of headaches, migraines, pressure behind the eyes, or brain fog. So this can happen within 30 minutes or even a few hours later, which makes it hard to connect the dots. And then the fourth thing would be you feel wired, anxious, and you cannot sleep. Histamine isn't just about sneezing and allergies. A lot of people connect it to that. It's also a neurotransmitter. It stimulates your brain and helps keeps us alert. So if your bucket is overflowing, then you may feel wired but tired. Your heart may race when you're trying to sleep. You may have vivid dreams or wake up at 2 to 3 a.m. wide awake. You may feel anxiety or restlessness that may seem to come out of nowhere. I always say if you feel overstimulated by life, you might want to check your histamine bucket because that's usually a clear sign. And then number 5 is you're suddenly sensitive to everything. One of the most telling signs in this is you become reactive to foods, smells, supplements, heat, cold, exercise, basically everything. You may say things like, I used to tolerate this just fine and now I can't. Or it feels like my body's on edge 24/7. Or I feel like I'm reacting to air. I used to say that. Like, I feel like I just can't eat anything but air, without responding. Then this is your bucket overflowing and your nervous system is going into high alert. It's not in your head and your body is waving a flag. So it's just a matter of you listening and you doing something about it. Okay, so why does the bucket fill so easily in the first place? So the first thing would be poor gut function. Histamine is broken down in the gut. When there's dysbiosis present, then it can hinder this. And then the second thing would be low DAO enzyme. Now, this is the enzyme that the body naturally that makes to break down histamine. So it may be genetic or just due to inflammation in general. And then hormone shifts play a role. Estrogen increases histamine, so this is big in perimenopause. So this can make a big, big, big impact or big shift in perimenopause. And then stress, because cortisol downregulates DAO. Cortisol actually downregulates most everything in our body. So that's why it's so important for us to manage stress. And then you have mast cell activation. This is the immune cells that dump out histamine. And then environmental triggers like mold, pollen, fragrances, etc. So what can you do? So the first thing is reduce the load. You can try a low histamine diet short term. You don't have to eat this way forever. Avoid leftovers, cook fresh when you can. Be mindful of fermented foods, wine, vinegar, and collagen powders, and then support the breakdown of histamine. Add in a DAO enzyme supplement before meals. That can help. Vitamin C plus quercetin can help stabilize mast cells. And then lastly, and most importantly, is gut healing to support natural detox and histamine clearance. And then the next thing that you can do is calm the nervous system. Magnesium glycinate is really, really good for calming the nervous system. And then also nervous system support like breath work, gentle movement, nervous system reset breaks. So this isn't a permanent diagnosis, it's a signal. Your bucket is full, your body is saying, I need a break. And once we listen, we lower the load and support healing, then our bucket can start draining. So you can get your life back. Your body wants to heal. We just have to stop pouring into the bucket faster than it can empty. So if any of this sounds familiar and you're ready for some personalized support, comment bucket and send me a message. I help people navigate this every day with root cause, step-by-step strategies that are doable and that actually work. Until next time.